To order everybody for being here. At first, it says Pledge of Allegiance, but we're missing the mindfulness moment, so we'll also do that one as well. And then we'll make modifications to the agenda. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Quick mindfulness moment. All right. Additions and deletions to the agenda, noting that I already added in mindfulness moment. And that will be something that Tina can add in for the minutes. And I also like to add back in roundtable right after 5. Is that okay with everybody? All right. Is there any additional comments to the agenda? All right. Motion to approve the agenda with the modifications. Motion by Alice. Is seconded by Nancy. Do we have anybody online? For school board members?
No.
No? Okay. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving on to public comment. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment that is not regarding an agenda item? No? All right. Just for clarity, we're only going to be talking about the board and superintendent working agreements. So if you want to make a comment on something else, this would be the time. Okay. All right. Moving on to new business, board and superintendent working agreements. So at this moment, I'm going to have Tracy come forward and let you speak.
Great, thanks. I'm going to make a few brief remarks in the context of the full meeting. I apologize for having my back to you before we transition to the work session. So Joanne asked me to join you to facilitate a board superintendent partnership work session. Work sessions are about learning, and it will include some sharing and discussion, but they are not about decision making. The public is welcome to observe, but to do our best work, I'm going to ask the board to step away from the board meeting table, and we're going to do our work in a circle. We will not be recording the session while we're in the circle doing the work session. We're taking minutes. The minutes might just say something simple like the board entered a work session on the board superintendent partnership. Want to reassure everyone that any agreements or products that come out of the work session that the board chooses to adopt will be considered in open meeting at the board table when we return to the formal meeting and or at a future meeting. It tends to be my recommendation that if you take some action preliminarily on something tonight, that you clearly include that item on a future agenda and affirm it so that the public has full opportunity to know that a particular decision or agreement is on the agenda and has the opportunity to weigh in. Tonight, we have 2 goals. One is to frame some working agreements for the board superintendent partnership, and the second is to begin to map out a short-term work plan that includes ideally an opportunity for the board to build an annual work plan. So a first direction. again, my hope is that you'll conclude some drafts that you can affirm when you return to the meeting table preliminarily, and perhaps finalize those at a future meeting. That's it. Any questions before I ask you to transition to the circle?
I just trying to understand the context of what's going on, because it sounds like it's almost sort of a semi-executive session kind of work session. Is this kind of leaning towards an agreement that's more contractual, or is this just an agreement of understanding? Kind of like an MOU?
Tracy?
It is not contractual, it's not an MOU, it's a board study session, work session, to explore deeply the board superintendent partnership and to think together about what the elements of that partnership should be as they begin a relationship with a new CEO. It is not private, it's not executive session. You're welcome to continue with us and observe. It just doesn't work well at the board table. It works well in a circle. So please stay, please observe, and definitely there'll be opportunity for you to weigh in when the board returns to the table.
But there's no real commentary coming from the public, in essence. Okay.
The opportunity comes in the future. Let's let them do some work and learning, and then they have the opportunity to do that.
All right, Emily?
Yeah, I think before we begin, we should clarify public comment. I think that would be very important, so everyone understands that.
So this is a working session. There will be no public comment during the working session. It will just be the board members and our facilitator. That's the way that I understand it. And superintendent.
Superintendent, thank you.
Nancy?
Is this like a negotiation?
This is not a
Somebody to
negotiations.
Facilitate negotiations?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's
All right.
learning together.
Any other questions? In that case, we'll take a 5-minute recess and move over to the circle.
Join me in the
And
circle.
please have something to drink and maybe some snacks on your way.
Do we need anything to write with, or
Tracy, you have things for them to write with in the circle.
everything's there?
Drink anything you don't want to.
All right.
All right.
Please do.
Yeah, I want to-